things that you might not be as comfortable on. It's going to show, especially in these professional games, as we hop into the draft. Once again, JDG keeping with what worked.
Another AD ban in Zeri. I'm wondering how early we might be looking at something like a Jin, which is Taeyoon's most played champion that's still up. As and that's something where JD Gaming on Red Side Game 1, they did ban out the Jin. So, wondering if we see that here.
Yeah, at that point, I don't really know what you're picking if you're Taeyoon, right? And you just leave him for last and have him on something potentially irrelevant. They are going to ban the Skarner, and they're going to respect the Monki here. So we've got some first pick ability here for the side of Team WE. Yorick managed to slip through, so they will give that one over to Cube. He has not played a ton of it.
Yeah, only 2 plays for Cube, but we have seen, thanks to Bin and BLG, at least they're pretty comfortable first picking Yorick and just kind of going from there. So it feels like Cube going to try and take a play from that playbook, or page from that playbook, and see what the response is here for JD Gaming. As missing is Rakan. It's that's a long time big pick for him.
Missing's like legendary duo. Rakan, baby.
Yeah,
I love it.
Away.
Yep, right. Lock that in. Go with the Xayah. You know what? Just get the lovers duo in and look to dominate the spot lane and look to dominate the team fights and keep yourself safe, right? And that's exactly what they're going to do. Now, for the side of Team WE, all right, there's a couple of schools of thought. I'm interested to know your opinion. What do you really like teams pairing with Yorick? I personally really like when they have disengaged tools around this Yorick to allow him to split push.
I do too. I think it's about mid-game with him. I actually really like the Senna because you can play globally, and some of the best Senna pairing is actually off the board in terms of the Nautilus and then, honestly, kind of the Braum. So just going to be a Leona, which is decent against Rakan, but, of course, that Sion still being a big pick. A lot of teams are comfortable just handshaking the Yorick Sion. Like, yes, this isn't the best matchup for Sion in the side lane, but it's very playable. Because of that E, your shout, you're actually able to control the Maiden a little bit at times, and then you just get to be Sion in team fights. So, for me, stronger identity already for JD Gaming. We'll see how they round it out here on the red side. Also, just Senna, playing that into Sion can be kind of hard. As Sion, like, he gets very big, very tanky, and Senna is going to wait to get some of those pen items. So, interested to see how early Taeyoon looks at something like an LDR, but we haven't really seen that being picked up by Senna's very early. Could change this game.
It's going to be hard to chew through him. We're going to see Galio get taken off the board, so no protection on the side lane for Cube. No protection for this Leona to try to break up any fights that JDG maybe want to start. It does feel like that Team WE, they're going to either need some damage and they're going to commit to having Cube join them for some fights, or they're going to eschew damage, right? And they're going to just go for this full disengage and kind of a bit of an annoying comp and really try to stop JDG from actually getting kills to actually snowball the game. We'll see what happens. The Orianna getting taken off the board is pretty big, so looking to get that secondary engage out of Scout.
I do like the Orianna ban quite a bit, just synergizing with the Rakan. I'm curious, though, they didn't look at any of the ball carriers, maybe taking those champions away from Shun or potential ball carriers. I was gonna tease Jarvan actually maybe being a big pick this game, just with 2 immobile marksmen already showing. So surprised that that's being actually taken away from Monki.
See what the last ban is coming through here for Team WE. I'd imagine they'd get rid of a magic damage dealer. I don't really think this would be a Yone game for Scout, as they will take out this Akali. Not often played by Scout, but certainly something that he can pull out. And he does
it's a big pick for Karis, too. He's 3-0.
It is, yeah. That is.
Did we just see an Annie? Because Orianna is off the table, and you can just blind Annie and go from there if you want to actually get counterpicked to Shun. Or, oh boy, we were teasing what kind of ball carriers we could see, but maybe Shun just goes to comfort. Oh, baby, it's going to be a Kindred. And now a lot of it comes down to Lamb's Respite, Yanni. And curious to see any displacement being taken here to try and play around that.
Yeah, I don't really know how Team WE are going to respond to this and keep their team composition cohesive. You know, you can't really pick a Gragas here. It's not a champion that goes really in the jungle too much anymore. And it looks like we're going to see a Sylas come down. You know, it's going to be good to steal that Rakan ultimate. It could be potentially good to steal the Lamb's Respite. Now we're just looking for a final pick
He likes
coming
this.
out of the jungle here. You know what? Slam it.
I don't mind
Honestly,
this.
It's really hard against the Lamb's Respite, but maybe we could see this Viego come through. I think Viego Silas can have the potential to be a little strong outside of the early game. Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Zed would have been better, but we're going to see the ball in Monki's hands. And now for Scout, he's got the pick of the litter between a lot of magic damage dealers. You saw him hover the Annie. You see him currently hovering the Aurora. He will lock that one in. All
right, I like JDG Gaming's comp again. It just feels like they have a much stronger identity.
Agreed.
And double marksman is going to give them some nice scaling. It's about getting a reset into Lamb's Respite. So I think a lot of eyes need to be on Shun, who, of course, is a specialty Kindred player. The champions he's really known for are Nidalee and Kindred, right? Those are his the two-pronged attack that he can always throw at you. I don't see a world where Team WE are able to function later on. Like the scaling of the Scion, the Kindred, the Xayah, even the Aurora, who has some nice AP ratios, is going to be way too much. It's going to be about the over-the-top early game damage that we can see as they try and access the backline. But I think giving JD Gaming like these really easy comps to play is kind of a big mistake. Because for me, when they play weird comps, that's where we've really seen them falter. So I think like the Xayah, Rakan, the Scion, like giving these champs over is not the best approach into this team. Because we have seen them, like when they have straightforward identities, I mean, it's pretty easy for Peyz to beat him. And Peyz is a damn good Xayah player. And Missing is the Rakan, like premier Rakan player, right?
Yeah,
so
that Rakan is legendary.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard for Team WE to kind of take care of business here. Their team comp seems a little too solo queue-esque, if you ask me. I do like that the 4 champions that they have from jungle to bot lane can scrap a little bit early. Obviously, Viego is not really a champion you want to scrap with pre-6. But if you are really obligated to, you can. You'll have enough CC and slows coming out from the Senna and the Leona to try to enable the Silas and the Viego. But I feel like if you don't get that ball rolling early, you're really just like, all right, guys, well, we messed up. We failed. Maybe Yorick will carry us as we head into Game 3 of this best-of-5 series. We're on Summoner's Rift. Let's do it.
Dude, what are those, like, couches they have? Like, the influencer booths?
The VIP area, brother. LPL? I would love to be sitting on a couch watching League of Legends right now.
I mean, I gotta work and stand, man. If I sit down, I'm gonna be okay, that graph's a lie. I don't believe that WE graph at all.
Are you suggesting that we get a casting couch?
Yes.
Oh, no my goodness. I cannot believe that worked.
No
First
way.
blood going over to Team WE. As Shun just over-aggressive. He's just not respecting that Team WE are willing to do wild stuff like that.
That is a really greedy base. Like, you could have walked behind the turret and based, and it's chill. But we decided to base there, and Monki called it. As again, this team, we kind of joke, but oftentimes it's Monki see, Monki do. He is the shot caller, the ringleader of this squad. And frankly, if Team W wants to have a chance in this game, I really think it's on Monki and Karis specifically to play through mid and make things happen. Because like this is a duo where you should be able to push up and be able to try and make plays in the Aurora. Scout can be slippery on this champ, but Silas plus Viego early on is really tough to fight. And that's a good start for Karis, who's going to have a really nice base already with that first blood gold being in his pockets.
Yeah, and this is something that we talked about, is enabling Karis to be able to make plays. When he gets kills, he can perform well in games. We talked about it before the series. We saw it in Game 1 as Taeyoon and Vampire hitting level 2 first, trying to force off missing Peyz. So maybe he can get it done again.
Vampire and Taeyoon actually a little bit off there. Vampire was going for the auto Q, which is correct on Leona, but if he insta-Qs, then I think they chain the root. So that's something that Taeyoon and Vampire will have to see if they can work on throughout. As, of course, this Senna combo is not exactly as straightforward as Senna Nautilus or Senna Braum, which is primarily what we've been seeing in the LCK. So we're going to have to see if they can really adjust and profit. As Monki going through his clear. Going to save that red buff for last. That's going to be a tasty one. As Shun actually going to cross over. This is weird. Okay, he's got no red buff.
Going up top.
But this is the timer they want to hit.
All right. just out of vision right now. Now he'll finally walk up. His cube has realized, oh man, I need to leave. Does have his flash available? Let's see how long he holds on to it. He'll use it, but he gets flashed after. Knocked up. Cube trying to do his thing. Ala gets taken very low. Shun going to take a big turret shot there. And a failed first gank coming out of Shun.
Yeah, it's only a flash trade, right? Not even a flash advantage. With them showing top, they can look mid. Karis doesn't wait to see where Scout goes. And frankly, they don't... oh, White Cube still playing. The Shun might be in trouble.
He's going to hop
get the
over the wall
crab.
here, but he's going to get chased down by Cube. Flash for flash. Oh! He flashes to the other end of the pit! And Monki finds the kill. What's going on with the GOAT over on JDG and over on the bot lane here? We are seeing a 1-for-1 where Peyz manages to find the kill over Taeyoon. And now Peyz is going to look for the second one here. Got a lot of feathers, a lot of auto attacks. But he's not going to be able to find more.
That's not supposed to happen with Senna Leona going down like that. Curious how that happened. But Monki is going to get a red buff maybe away from Shun. He actually hasn't checked it yet. I'm shocked. He's actually going to look mid, as they might be looking on the Scout. We'll see if Shun is here to cover. The one thing that's nice for Shun, even though he has 2 deaths, he's somehow RNG'd his way into 2 marks.
Let's go.
So
that's
a true Kindred man right there. But okay, yeah, I need a second look at this one. If Peyz gets a rip here, please Taeyoon, don't do this to me. I don't like that engage from Vampire. Oh,
and Taeyoon misses the root.
It was the W flash, yeah. The barrier wasn't fully efficient either. A lot of misplays there by Taeyoon and Vampire. I do not like how Vampire went past Peyz. Then, of course, this flash from Shun is very questionable.
Yeah, what happened?
Just flash over the wall, man.
Yeah.
Like, they know the Monkey's coming. He's trying to react flash to it. Just hug the wall and flash over the wall. I don't think there's a way. Instead, flashing into the pit pretty much guarantees your death. Because that W was down. He wasn't going to get the Q reset anytime soon, so that was a weird one.
Yeah, and we talked
still
about
got 2 marks, you know? That's great.
Yeah, and we talked about how, you know, early on pre-6, maybe Team WE don't want to fight. It's that post-6 they really want to fight for. But now Monki was so accelerated right now that, you know, once he hits level 6, he's going to be dealing some serious damage. He's got that Hearthbound Axe in the inventory, which, you know, is actually pretty relevant here. He's going to be having that extra attack speed and that extra physical damage coming out here. Dragon is available. We'll see if WE want it after a show-up gank to the mid lane. Scout is going to be able to hop away. Karis now just hitting level 6 as the duo will head to the top lane.
Scout's done a really nice job of playing around this pressure so far. I don't think that Monki and Karis have done a great job of actually making him feel the pressure.
Yeah.
But again, absorbing these ganks is quite nice as the Aurora, which I think was a good draft pick here for Scout and JDG. Again, I see a Viego Silas. A lot of that game plan is trying to play through mid, right? And get that Viego plus Silas accelerated. As speaking of accelerated, Ala doesn't have a TP, but he's looking for the choo-choo angle here. As they
need to make this play happen. Shun has had a lot of downtime, so it has to happen.
Well, Vampire can catch it. He's going to have to.
Yep. He will,
Goodbye.
And it looks like he will go down with the ship here. See, he's just not quite tanky enough to be able to survive through it. He's taking a couple of turret shots, but he'll be okay. A successful play there by JDG.
Another mark for Shun, but it's going to be a couple plates going over to Cube. And, of course, that Dragon being taken down as they do zone Taeyoon off the wave. And they're doing a nice job of making sure that Peyz gets kills and Peyz gets fed, which always okay to sack resources as the Scion if you're making sure that your Zaya's getting more. Know that there's no TP to go back bot for Ala, but Scout was able to rotate down. You can see JD Gaming actually able to play out all 3 waves. So pretty much just trading Dragon for more gold in the Zaya. I think that's A-okay if you're JDG.
A lot of pings going down onto Ala because his ultimate is down. Going to try to slow him up and maybe take him down. Vampire going to go in along with Taeyoon. They just don't have the damage right now, man. You will be able to farm a couple souls off of him if you're Taeyoon, which is generally a win as a Senna. You're totally okay with at least just getting souls.
Yeah, we'll say I'm curious. I think the scaling again is really good for JDG, but if we go like late game, of course you are going up against the Senna. So you have to deal with the infinite scaling of both the Senna and the Kindred, for that matter, with the souls and the marks, respectively. We'll be curious to see how that plays in later on. Because there might be a world like with a LDR Senna, and they can get around the Scion. I think the rest of the team is pretty squishy. And I could really see a world like late game where the things might actually be a little bit WE favored, which I will say, like, going up against a Kindred Xayah is not always what you think. I think a lot of it's just going to have to be, like, how they play it around that Lamb's Respite, and if there can be enough damage between the double marksman, but I don't want to discount Senna scaling ever, because that champion does scale so hard if you stack up those marks.
Yep, can't do it. He's already at 20 right now, so he hit his first break point as we're seeing Shun start up the grubs here. Grubs would be really big for Team WE. Karis is
Vampire no
in
6.
the area.
Yeah, Missing has 6. Vampire does not. That's significant.
They got to try to find a way in. Rakan missing that Q here. Karis wants to go in, wants to land this charm, forcing the ultimate out of Allah. One grub will go down. JDG getting forced out. Shun, he had to use his flash too.
So Allah's out of there. They can play this.
Yeah, let's see. Shun looking to
Allah
hop
cannot
back in.
join.
Maybe still this last one is Missing is going to get caught up here, and he goes down. Between Worlds from Scout coming through. So they managed to find a way on top of Peyz. Shun taking good damage as Peyz is trying to get away, but he's slowed up. The root is coming out huge, and Karis will be able to survive. He'll be able to hop out of there, but overall, a win for WE. They get a kill. They get 2 grubs. Good stuff.
Yeah, kind of assisted by Missing, just deciding to walk into Q range of Vampire's Leona and getting one-tapped, which level 6 advantage be damned. As Missing being one-shot, very significant there. I'm going to enable Team WE to pick up the 2 grubs, which gets them the objective feat too, or at least one step closer to it. There's a couple aspects to Awa being forced out here. Does have to burn that ult. And of course, Cube TPing behind to make sure that that Scion really just can't get back into this fight. So he lost the flash too. And then really weird here from Missing. Walking again into Q range of Vampire and just getting one shot, which, yeah, that wasn't great. Meanwhile,
what else is suspect?
Cube's going down.
Cube.
Good find.
Shun shows up to the top lane, gets his second kill. Still only on 2 marks for the moment.
Yeah.
But trying to get his way back into the game after a rough early start.
Will say that, of course, this is a pocket pick for Shun. He's a fantastic Kindred player, but this champion, the way it plays into Yorick, it's really good kit-wise in your matchup. Just having the Q, you can get out of the wall, get out of the E from Yorick too, and then, of course, space, just the fact that he's, throwing down the autos and the Qs. So I like the fact we've seen Shun pay attention to Cube early on, because I really feel like that's a lane that can go take advantage of Scion, some of his gank assist, try and use that to cash in.
Yeah, and not only that, because of the way Yorick plays and how he's going to be pushing away from the team for so often, he might be a walking stack at times, too.
Yeah. No, that's a good point as well. Shin's been doing really nice work at that. I see 2. He's got to have more than 2 stacks at this point.
Nah, bro, he only has 2. He wasn't able to secure that top crab a little while ago. He's still stuck on 2, brother.
He was 0-2 with 2 stacks. Hasn't picked up anything else with 2 kills even?
I think he was 0-2 with 1, but had the 1 stack like pending, and then ended up getting that. But then, it rotated over and wasn't able to get too much off. It's still a little slow for him, but again, as you said, is his pocket pick, so you expect him to really get into the game later. He's just picked up his Trinity Force now, so yeah, it's a nice little spike for him as both of these junglers dueling with each other with kills, with gold. We'll to see which one pulls away first. Remember, we talked about the resets for Viego could get stymied a little bit with the Lamb's Respite, and if you can really shut down that Viego that way, it'll be much harder for Team WE to take advantage in fights and win these fights.
Still think we're at a timer where I do really favor Team WE in these fights too, so I want to see if they push it hard.
Karis finally lands one.
Yeah, he wrapped up the rocket belt, and with both TPs coming back in, he's able to connect with some Kingslayers, can spike back up.
He's walking down. Ooh. Good spot there from Scout with the sweep. As
they have to be careful of Allah. Yeah, look at Allah. He's ditched that wave. Yeah, he's walked down early. There's no TP, so I think it's just a dragon give. And WE looking to cut them off on the way back in.
Let's see what they're going to be able to do as Vampire is moving down. He will be
JDG
level 6.
They're wary.
Oh, I like this. I like this. Here we go. We're going to go all the way in here with the ultimate over the top from the center. Multiple members staying alive. Scout a little low, but the triple knockup is there. And Peyz comes down to pick up the scraps of Team WE. Even Allah will get in there for a little bit of help, but a really, really good play out of the Peyz missing bot lane. And all that's left is for Peyz to pick this one up on Vampire, which I'm sure he will in a moment or two. Well, Vampire doing well to burn a lot of time here.
I mean, what a Lamb's Respite coming out from Shun. I know he went down. That pretty much made the play happen. As I think I just saw Vampire lose his real flash. I think his Hex Flash just expired, and he just flashed in place. I saw the animation. We're going to have to be wary of that one. As Cube is trying to wrap up first brick, that would be feats secured. Of course, that dragon going over was feats prevented for Team WE. Trying to get it with the first brick. Wasn't able to secure it as Ala gets the flash out of Cube. He's going to have to reset. That's a couple of really big wins going over to JDG. And I want to see a replay of how close that Lamb's Respite was, man. Because that was perfectly timed by Shun.
It was so good. And now JDG, they're back in it, right? You've got Peyz online, Scout having a solid fight there, able to tilt the gold lead toward his favor a little bit. You stopped Cube from getting that last brick. He's not going to be able to pick it up. He'll eventually get that turret, unless things go horribly wrong. Let's take a look at this replay and watch for this Lamb's Respite along with Monki's ultimate.
I mean, this is so damn close. That click forward is just perfect from Shun. And then all the damage that comes in afterwards. A great grand entrance from Missing. Pops it just as the Lamb's Respite expires so that you connect with that CC right after that expires. That's how you always want to play it back home. Beautifully done by Shun and Missing to help save that trap that Team WE was setting. Now Karis. It's a nice trade against Scout. Of course, this might... They don't have anyone on this side of the map, or else it could be danger for Scout, who's, yeah, actually going to have to end up ulting the wave. That's likely going to be him actually sacking this turret. Again, feet still on the table. First brick would get it for Team WE, and I think they're going to pick it up here in the bot half. So Team WE getting back out of the map here has been okay, but Cube in trouble yet again, but he has friends.
He's a walking stack, or maybe he isn't. Ultimate over the top from the center to try to shield him up. A Monkey and Vampire can't get in there. He is just a walking stack, bro, as he goes down. That pink ward will get cleared out.
I really like how JDG is playing this Kindred into the Yorick. We've seen Yorick be a really big power pick. Again, this Champions kit interacts really well against Yorick, and I love the fact that JDG are really cashing in with Ala and Shun, just hard focusing down Cube. I know he's only gone down twice, but just setting him behind the curve like this, and you can see how easy these plays look for JDG to pull off, and just how unplayable it is for the Yorick when Kindred gets set top. Really like the focus from JDG.
Riftchild getting picked up there, and one thing that I really like is that, you know, Shun is marking Karis, so Karis has to be constantly aware and constantly paranoid, and that could potentially lure a guy like Cube into a false sense of security, which has happened on the last couple of ganks. You know, I say that he's a walking stack, but he hasn't actually been stacked off of yet. But hey, kills are about just as good, man.
Can't complain, as Shun, of course, wants to get to 4 stacks, get that break point, but first brick secured, and that's going to be feats going over to Team WE as Scout.
He's going after Karis. The Between Worlds, the flash is burnt.
Ooh.
Can't get anything more, but a good job there by Scout.
Yeah, Missing hovering him too, so Scout could afford to go for that play. Well done. As Shun to snipe that one away. That will be his 4th stack, so first extra power on the stacks coming in for him on the Kindred.
Nice job there by Missing to avoid any potential engage, and now we have 45 seconds until this dragon. It's Team WE looking to congregate around here. Peyz 3-0-2, item and a half right now. Contending with Taeyoon's item and a half, but Taeyoon's is more for wave clear, man. It is the Mosquito Senna build. It's going to take a while for him to actually start getting this big damage in.
I'm surprised it's not a Black Cleaver second, given that he has Viego and Yorick.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
I'm with you there. Ultimate only going to slow a couple members of JDG, but we're going all the way in, Missing with a good counter ultimate. Karis holding that one in the back pocket. If he wants it, he's going to have to run away as well as the rest of Team WE. But now Cube is heading down here with the Maiden looking to join the party, but Shun and Peyz to keep him out as a bouncer. Now they want to look for Missing. He's able to hop over the wall. Team WE have control of this river once again, but JDG bearing down on them. Taeyoon trying to keep them at bay. This dragon has been started up. Karis does have that stolen ultimate in the back pocket right now, just looking for a good opportunity.
Missing?
They want to go into Missing. Charm is on to multiple members, and Missing is going to fall. Scout gets charmed on the backside too. He's got to flash away, but Monki ults the wall, and now Cube has to try to get away. Monki getting back in though because he's got the Rakan body, and now they're looking for a little bit more. Peyz is the target. He gets blown up, but Shun couldn't save him. Shun couldn't save him, and they turn on to Ala, and they take him down too, as Team WE are fighting back.
The Lamb's Respite was late, and Missing again gets caught at the start of it. It was the quickness that was stolen away by Karis that found Missing, who was way too far up with no ult for himself. That led to the first death and the first reset coming in for Monki. I know it didn't connect on the Peyz, sorry, Scout, but at least he got his flash out as WE. They do get the Dragon, and now with Shun looking for a mark, I believe. He might get pushed out of here. That's guessed.
He's gotten rooted. He might actually just...
Oh, he's missed a slow.
Right, Karis wasn't able to actually get close. He's going to look for it, but Scout shows up. And now they're going to maybe look for a turnaround here. Karis going to drop the Between Worlds, able to escape a sticky situation as Cube gets the turret on the bottom side.
Vampire might be going down.
Oh, wait.
Monkey's
Monki is here. Looking for a turnaround on the Shun, potentially gets knocked up. Scout is here. They did stun Missing. He's getting very low, but again, nobody else really around to help out. But a teleport coming in from the backside.
It's
they're going to engage on the Scout. Missing is going to exit with Shun, and that means Scout's wrapped up. He's able to go between worlds, but Cube with that clutch teleport coming in after the roof, and an abscond abduct lands on the Scout, and Karis is able to find the kill, and things are unraveling for JDG.
This isn't the LCK, baby. That's where, you know, I guess Scout came over here and was successful right away. It took Karis a few tries to try and be successful there, but he's finding Scout in the back half. And man, that sloppy play from top to finish kind of benefits Team WE in the end. Okay, we're going all the way back. Look at Missing. He walks into Monki, uses a grand entrance in place, and yeah, he
flashed right into Karis' ultimate.
I mean, even with that flash, I think he's still going down. He's just way too far up at the start of that play. And then, yeah, Scout gets forced out. Monki on the back half is able to find Peyz. The Lamb's Respite was just a tick late from Shun. Wasn't quite able to get that off in time to help Peyz, and that was the big game changer to make sure that this fight was really one-sided for Team WE. But really surprised how hard JDG were trying to trade on the other side of the map, try and get themselves back in. Again, we're kind of questioning the scaling of this game. We really feel like if it goes like Omega late, we like the Senna. But if it's like the 30 to 40 minute mark before Senna gets filthy late, I like JDG with the double marksman. I'm really awkward we're forcing so hard in what I consider still a power window for the Viego and the Silas versus what we have. Missing?
Oh, Missing! Oh, goodness.
This is Missing.
He's living up to his namesake, man. And on this Rakan, this is his champion. And this is something that we really haven't talked about, is that Missing early on in the year was
pissed himself.
Early on in the year was
Herald, man. He
big reason why JDG was not playing well. And lately he's been a little bit more quiet, a little bit less of a problem. But in this game, I mean, on that signature Rakan has just been really bad. Yeah. And now Otacon getting started up by Team WE. He is actively hurting JDG. Let's see if JDG are able to bail out their much maligned support in this game.
This is the champion that he had like, what, a 27-game win streak on? It just absolutely filthy. I think career, I know it's over a 75% win rate.
Yeah, it's just below 80%. And meanwhile, I mean, Cube is just doing his thing.
Cube, he doesn't have a TP. WE's going to try and buy as much time as they want.
TP,
I don't think
problem.
Otacon matters a ton. They can't walk forward past the past everything, but yeah, they don't care. If they're able to delay the bases, this is going to be at least an inhibitor turret down. If I'm Cube, I don't take the inhibitor yet. I would not push past this, and therefore I think it's kind of a waste of a TP from Awa. Because if you take an inhibitor this early, I don't think it's good. Now they see Awa.
Hang on, Karis is so deep right here. He's going to use Between Worlds, but he gets knocked up and goes down and gives over a shutdown to Peyz and a miscue from WE.
Yeah, he thought the Between Worlds could get him out of there. That was not the case. As Karis, I can understand trying to buy some time for York. Again, I think that play is done, though. You don't want the inhibitor. You're taking inhibitor like 4 minutes before Baron. Screw that. You're giving over free gold, right? You don't get enough off that control. So I do think that the TP from Awa was not warranted. And then also just WE pushing that hard. I can understand when the stop bases to find tempo. A little bit too hard there from Karis, who, to be fair, with the Between Worlds, could have gotten out. But a good grand entrance from Missing, who has to make a few other good plays to redeem a couple of the oopsies we've seen from him so far. Because keep in mind,
he's going to need a lot more than that.
Yeah, those oopsies extra expensive going up against a Viego and a reset comp, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. Rakan is a very useful champion for a Viego to pick up. 30 seconds until this Dragon is up. It is potential sole point here for Team WE. They really want a piece of this one, but JDG, they have the full control for right now. They're sending Cube out on the top side of RWE. Scout is going to have to match that. But they both have teleports available.
I mean, we have to kind of keep our eyes on Karis here. It has 2 items. him and Monki can sync up for this
He can
dragon
blow up
fight.
anybody.
I keep stacking mountain dragons too. I mean, preventing it and getting these clean is huge for Team WE. It just makes you tankier, easier to reset for Viego, and then prevents giving those resets or resistances over. Again, making it easier to reset for Viego. So I think important that WE try to clean these up cleanly. A Scout's low mana top. He does have a TP, but I think he only has enough mana for like a combo and a half.
Taeyoon can't really find a way in. Vampire's just going to go all the way in right now, get some shielding. Flashes out as they burn the ultimate out of Peyz. Karis going in, but he's only able to charm up one, and he gets stuffed by missing. And now they're going to try to turn around the Monki, and they do. JDG win the fight critically.
Really well played by Ala and JDG, missing another good counter engage. As I think that after the last fight, Yanni might have seen a difference of ideas here for JDG, with them being like, okay, missing, you can't be on the front line anymore. Let's try and catch the Silas and Viego when they go in. That's looked a lot more successful.
All right, the Maiden trying to help out Cube
Cube's
a little
fine.
bit here, but let's see, Scout really trying to chase him down. All on the angle tube. Scout is going to burn the flash here, so
I'm surprised about
as
that.
long as Cube doesn't really burn his flash, this is a successful play, even if he dies on the side lane here. There's 40 seconds until the Baron. He is going to burn his flash now to try to get the rest of his team there. Here comes a teleport from behind. Taeyoon coming through as well, but guess what? JDG's here too. Karis going in. They're going to target out Scout. He's low. He's dead. His shoot is late again on the Lamb's Respite. They are not synced up right now, Cubby. It's a double kill for Karis, and the Baron's up in 20.
I mean, we just saw Team WE reach for a fight, and on the back half, we saw the Scout and Ala reach way too far. Again, just curious that we chased that hard. I thought that like it takes a lot of time to get through York. Your mages aren't exactly built to do that. Now with 2 down, it's just going to be an insta Baron start for Team WE, and they can keep on forcing. They have a numbers advantage, so even if they pull off this, just hitting it could be big in the first place. And Missing's dead.
Oh, Missing just walks into it, and Monki will pick up another Shun. Desperately trying to find a way in, perhaps a little too desperately. And finally, he will just settle for his chickens, but JDG, once again, it felt like they were pulling it together, and they just fall apart again.
I'm at a loss for
going
words,
on?
Yanni. Like,
What's going on with this team, Cubby?
I don't know. Again, you could trade Dragon for Inner. It's fine. You don't have to TP for these things. And now, like, you're down tools, then you overchase. It's a lot of greed coming out from JDG. It almost feels like they don't know when to say no. And then, of course,
Missing. A fight they didn't like. It's the LPL, baby.
Yeah, and then, of course, just Missing. Like, he's brought it back in the last couple fights, but I think some of the mistakes he made early on, a lot of damage has been done. And, man, I really thought today was going to be a clean series for JDG, along with many others at home. You look at Scout, you look at Peyz. These are world-class elite players who originally came from Korea, where Karis and Taeyoon just simply couldn't cut it. They've been struggling to cut it with Team W. Again, coming to the series, guys, they have yet to beat a top 5 team. Their record against them, it's 0-10, 0-11 if you include the playoff series. Team W about to take a lead, about to take Game 3 against JDG here. They have Senna scaling, and it feels like they can really overwhelm them on the push, which they're doing with the Baron. There's going to be a lot of gold picked up. There's a lot of standing gold still on the map. As you can see, York focusing on bot. That inhibitor's opened up. It's okay to take now. And Taeyoon, he's starting to get up there with the range too, Yanni, as things are getting a little bit grim here. It's going to be really tough for Peyz to play this one out on the Xayah. I know that you get to, use that R going up against the Viego and the Silas, but up against Senna, that's hard. As Cube is down flash. Okay.
We're selling out for Cube.
He's dead.
Everything is going to be burnt on him.
Yeah, Peyz
Team
is there.
WE
He's dead.
cannot get close.
That's a turret.
And they left, and they did not end up taking the mid turret for it. They left to try to go help him.
Yeah, that's okay. That's an
error.
I thought that'd be a turret for sure, but nice rotation from JDG. Minute left on the Baron. That's pretty much that Baron push killed. That's gonna be a big win for JDG. They're actually gonna get mid outer out of this likely, as Team WE, given they went to help late to reset. We are a $115 though away from this Mountain Dragon spawning. Still think it's really, really important for Team WE that they can secure these. Again, extra resistance is important to make sure that they can tank through the double marksman and get these resets, whereas, of course, more resistances for JDG. Less likely that Monki gets a reset and runs the fight.
Yeah, and killing that Baron push, and then also making sure that that last Dragon fight went the way of JDG. really does make this a little bit harder on Team WE. Obviously, we talked about the Senna scaling. He's at 92 stacks, 93 stacks right now, which is really, really good. But, you know, it does mean that it's harder for WE to push this game across the finish line. They certainly can, and Monki has a good 3-item suite here of the Kraken Slayer, the Sundered Sky, and the GA.
Curious how close Taeyoon is to 100% crit. As he's got a lot in his kit, and then of course Senna, they kind of buff the crit that she gets.
He should be there.
I think he is there with an IE. That's actually really big. So of course Ala's going to kind of destroy the Senna, but if he's able to ignore the Scion, it could be really big, and you're going to be able to reach the Kindred.
Yeah, you've got the range. You have infinite range. You can hit whoever you want, really. As Cube is on the split push. Dragon up in 5.
I don't know if Cube joins. I still think that these mountain dragons are important. The dragon spawning in 5 is VWE focusing on the wave first. Vampire going to trade some of his health to spot Scout, but I think that's well worth it. WE is going to get in here. They're late to the dragon. That goes down. TP from Cube, but that's late.
Yeah,
and they rout JDG.
It's not on the other side. Yeah, they're slowing some of these members, but a teleport matched by Ala here.
They're going to get mid-enter from this, but not worth it all. JDG, the fact they stuck it with the 2 marksmen is big. Them crossing here, though, could be dangerous. Karis.
He's got that between worlds. It'll do good damage. Vampire wants a piece of the action. Karis gets a little bit too close. He goes golden. The knockup is there on the Monki. Monki's got to try to find a way out, and they manage to take down Karis. Monki in the GA. Cube gets over the wall, but Taeyoon has to try to shield up his jungler, who is now taken over the body of Missing. Scout low, but not going to go down. Taeyoon trying to kite this one out. Shun does pop that, but that ultimate to try to keep himself alive. Monki gets to the backside, but he dies. But Taeyoon has that range. He's hitting from so far away. He gets knocked up critically. Scout not really able to get close. What a close fight there. But JDG will limp away with a victory.
That was a great flash from Peyz. Made sure the rip connected with Monki, and no more resets came in. But even a fight that being that scattered looked a little bit scary there for JDG, as you're really seeing the importance of Lamb's Respite in these fights for JDG. It's what's going to empower their marksmen to hit, and if not, you can see the range of Taeyoon kicking in. I do think if Taeyoon played this better, he might have been able to clean up. I do want to see it in the back half. It was a decent engage from Missing, as they got Monki down in the GA quite early, and they took Karis out, who did have a well-timed GA, just wasn't enough. Vampire kind of flashed in to make sure Monki got a reset, kind of threw his life away. That was a bit of an oopsie. I think if Vampire played that slowly, actually could have also been a big win. And yeah, watch Taeyoon and Peyz here in the back half, because Shun's going to go hard. Of course, that E, though, going to buy Taeyoon some space. I was scared here. This flash from Peyz is so critical to make sure that he rips Monki and no more resets are given over. I think if Taeyoon maybe clicked a little bit better or found the Q, yeah, because he got caught up by there. If he finds the Q slow, maybe he can take down Peyz. Just wasn't the case.
That is so worrisome for JDG, though, because it looked like JDG had that fight favorably early on. But if you give Taeyoon enough time,
Yanni,
he will be so strong.
I see a Black Cleaver, too. I think that's, like, Senna stacks it up really quick, and that can be taken advantage of by the Viego Yorick.
He's got to get there
move
first,
speed's
though.
nice, too. He's got some time, but, like, what's the scaling going to be like in this game? I mean, again, like, Kindred Zaya, you see that, you're like, oh, boy, like, that's probably going to be the comp that wins, right? Scion, too, like, oh, if this goes late, we're fine. Aurora's got good ratios, too. But we're seeing WE really stretch the map.
They're ripping it.
And try and play around Taeyoon in the range. But yeah, ripping it's the move. You have double marksman. Just start plugging the objectives. Monki's not
4,
here yet.
3,000. It's down. It's secured by JDG. They're going to turn on to Ala. Meanwhile, Cube is getting an inhibitor over on the other side. Vampire comes in with a big stun there. This is huge, but Scout managed to get back, and now the turnaround is here. Missing going to look for charms here. Hops over to Ala's dead body, and they find Peyz. Peyz drops the ultimate down to keep himself alive. Lamb's Respite is there too, as Shun is able to hop out, but Peyz cannot, and Monki is bearing down on them. He falls, but guess what? It's Taeyoon, the hero, making the play happen. It's a triple kill.
That's it, a 4v5. Yes, the Baron goes over, but it's only on the shoulders of Scout, who's going to have to stop the push. Cube already got one Nexus turret. Scout's doing his best to kite it out, but they're going to rotate. I think this is the game, Yanni.
It's the Baron for Nexus trade, Cubby. JDG opted into it, and WC said, we will take it, baby. Team WE are one win away from doing what every LPL fan thought was impossible.
I cannot believe what we're seeing so far with Team WE. And from JDG, You took red side in game 1. Game 2 draft was good. That was really solid. But game 3, what we're like, these forever fights that they're trying to attempt to play into a Silas Viego Senna comp, it's so questionable for me. And seeing Team WE punish like this and find themselves at 2-1, this is crazy, man. If JDG get eliminated this quickly, like throughout the entire split, it's been like, JDG's going to figure it out. They're playing better in the back half. Like, they had so many games at the end. They started to win. They have not shown it in playoffs. And this team that people really had expectations, had hopes for, and hoping, honestly, I mean, if we're going to be honest, take down Top Esports and make sure that they're not going international, right? I think a lot of LPL fans would rather see JDG, regardless of what form they're in, over Top Esports. How is WWE doing this, man? I have Karis and Taeyoon up 2-1 in a best-of-5 against Scout and Peyz, man. Like, what is going on?
Cubby, I have no idea what the hell is going on, bro. This is some wild stuff right here. This is the serious gourmet stuff that you hope for. It's always a banger in the LPL, my friend. And, you know, big shout outs to what Team WE has been able to do. Taeyoon in that game, just playing at range, playing within himself, doing overall a really good job. But I mean, you know, Karis and Monki, they did so much too. They bought a lot of space. Monki had a particularly solid game. You know, I hate to say though that, oh, you know, maybe it's an issue with JDG, right? But I mean, we saw they were just out of sync once again. A lot of times, I mean, a lot of Shun's ultimates were just late in some of these fights.
He missed the one against Peyz.
That's critical gold that you're giving over.
I mean, this is crazy. I was not expecting this. I feel bad for Peyz. Like, we didn't even talk about missing, right? Getting those early kills over to the Viego, to the Silas. And, man, to have WE up 2-1 like this. And keep in mind that if it does go to 5, you got to imagine the Team WE gets blue side. And so far, blue side's 3-0 right now in this series too, Yanni. So that's pretty significant as well.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what's going on, man. All I know is I'm here for it. I'm excited. I told you that there was a world where Team WE can get it done. And guess what, Cubby? I think we might be living in that world, man.
I was expecting to be done by now, Yanni. I thought I'd be in bed with a JDG 3-0 by this time. But, man, I cannot give enough praise over to WE. I really feel like the way that even Q being set behind, just the commitment to the split push. And then what we're seeing with, like, the Senna, the Silas, and how difficult it is to get through that. Like, playing around the two marksmen, like, able to space later on with Taeyoon. I even think Vampire, I thought he had a really grim game, too. That Leona was quite nice in game 3. Just having some of that reach to try and set up for the Silas Viego. And really catch and embarrass missing a few times, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Like, Vampire on his Leona was outplaying missing on the Rakan.
His legendary
process
Rakan.
That. Please process that, like, at home. That,
like if you don't know about Missing's Rakan, go to his Leaguepedia or go look at his stats. That's all you need to do. This guy is a savant on this champion. And yet, lived up to his name there. Well, actually, really didn't. He wasn't missing. He was potentially playing for the other team, man. I mean, it was particularly egregious. And now, Team WE on the doorstep of a victory. And before we, you know, I want to get into MVP talks first, Cubby, before we talk about what's next for Team WE in these games. I mean, I think Monki had a really good game, but I think Taeyoon put himself in a lot of good spots to make sure that he did not go down. But Karis also doing so much, like, in a fight like this, too. It's hard. It's a hard choice.
I really don't know. So I thought that Karis, like, had a couple of oopsies, but there were a lot of fights in this game. But also, like, Karis has to be the one that really throws his weight around. I can't believe, like, I'm sitting here watching a best of 5 where Karis is outperforming Scout. Like, I know that I've been the most critical of Scout, right? Like, in terms of, like, our team, probably. But I didn't think there'd be a single world where Karis would be outplaying Scout today. Just the pedigree of these two players. But Karis, man, he's showing up to play. And JDG's got to figure things out here in games 4 and 5. These... again, I thought that this draft was better, like stock standard. I really thought it was winnable, but we're just not seeing JDG be able to really sync up and be that team, be that monster that we thought they could be, or should be, frankly, in the LPL.
Yeah, we did ask if Team WE had any special sauce for Game 3 to take this 2-1 series lead, and that Senna was the special sauce. This is a tough decision on who should win the MVP. I mean, you know, you made good points about Karis, man. I
He was a
really
playmaker.
can't doubt that. He was making plays. All right,
That
you know
Nam's
what?
Respite was late too. I missed that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought Scout was actually outside the range. It was just late.
Yep.
Regardless.
Yeah, this was a bad game. This was a bad game out of Shun on his signature champion too. These guys on JDG, on their signature champions, did not perform. And I think that is very, very telling for the direction and some of the issues maybe that JDG have had really putting it all together. Again, we saw during their Hell Week, they came together. They really turned their season around. They locked that third place slot. They looked like one of the hotter teams coming into playoffs. We were talking more about BLG and JDG going into playoffs than we were about anyone's legend in top esports. And now JDG, I mean, they are one game away from elimination, from being done, from finishing lower than teams like Weibo, teams like IG, teams like WE. This has already been a colossal failure to be in the losers bracket this early. And now, if you don't even get a chance to sniff MSI, I would think that something would need to change, man. This is egregiously bad for these players.
Poor Peyz, man. Peyz, I still feel like is playing really well. But
he's not even
it's been tough.
He's not even living up to the playoff choker that people have kind of put on him. He's actually done well so far this series.
You know what the funny thing about this is too, Yanni, is that this was supposed to be our round 1 matchup, but of course Team WE was chosen by AL, so they got Weibo and lost. So then they're what the seeding matchup would be, right? They still lose to them in the lower brackets. Pretty crazy.
Good call,
Karis with
bud.
2 pogs, by the way, in this series.
He's pogging right now.
Again, I cannot believe that he is playing better than Scout coming in. As someone that's been so critical of Scout and his play, I just never thought we'd see a world where Karis is outperforming Scout in this best of series. But that's where we're at right now. We're going to see if JDG can dig deep yet again and win back-to-back games to avoid elimination from the LPL split.
The LCK reject Karis is outplaying a literal world champion mid laner that's been lauded as one of the best to ever play. This guy is coming up clutch for Team WE. He was the player that we said Team WE needed to play around him, get him going, make conditions good for him. They have done so. He has pulled his weight, and they are one win away from eliminating JDG and moving on to the next round to play top esports. We are going to take a break to decompress, and when we return, JDG's backs against the wall. Team WE looking to shock the LPL. Who's going to win? I don't know. We'll see you on the other side.